If you want to start having healthy relationships, you need to stop doing this. And we'll get into that. What is the this that you need to stop? Overgeneralization, assumptions, and reducing complex situations down to a simple idea, statement, belief, assumption, projection. The list goes on. We've got a lot of ways of talking about this, a lot of words that will describe the situation. What I'm talking about here is that you're with another human being. It doesn't need to be romantic. This could be boss, friend, coworker, student, whatever. And the human mind does not like uncertainty, because uncertainty and unpredictability is kind of associated with high metabolic cost. What the hell are you talking about, Kirby? That's what this is all about. That's what emotions are all about. Check out my other videos for kind of an explanation of that. But just for now, trust this assumption, this starting point, is that the human mind does not like uncertainty. It likes predictability. It likes to be able to point at something and say, that's the problem. That's the solution. That's the salvation. And this is the problem. And so we have a great big complex situation of like one or more people that are all have an entire lifetime of experience. They've got their own wounds, traumas, hopes, joys, motivations, fears, the entire gamut of the human experience. That is a complex thing to try to reduce down into a single sentence or a single word. But yet we do it all the time, right? So like, take an example. What's your favorite thing? Is it cars? Is it pro sports? Is it sci-fi movies? Now take your favorite thing. Say it's a complex movie like Star Wars or something. It's not even that complex. It's a relatively simple movie. And then now let's say that you get lots of excitement from this thing, whatever it is, and you're all jazzed about it, and you're talking about the nuances of like this character and that character, or if you're talking about a car, you're talking about like, oh, the horsepower and the gas mileage and the, what kind of cool, knobs it has on the dashboard, or, the way the door opens, or blah, 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 right? Whatever your favorite thing is, think about that for a moment and how excited you get about all the details associated with that thing. And now you go to a dinner party and someone walks up and you say, oh, I'm into Star Wars. And they're like, oh yeah, I know that movie. And then they reduce it down to a single adjective, like it's adventure. It's an adventure movie. And you're like, well, yeah, technically that works. That genre is an applicable, that's a kind of semi-accurate way of describing this movie, but it's so much more. And the person's like, no, there's no more to it. It's just a flat, muted gray adventure movie. See, look, I gave you 2 or 3 more adjectives. Aren't you happy now? They're like, no, I'm not happy. This is a beautiful, complex, rich world. So let's talk about cars, because that was my brothers and father when I was growing up. And it's just like, oh, there's this car and it's got these sweet curves, and there's this particular type of red that they use when they, when you get that car in red, it's a cherry red. It's not a fire engine red, it's a cherry red. And it's got double-throated exhaust and so many horsepowers per weight, such and such, whatever, and the suspension travel is blah, 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 right? And that's exactly how I was as a kid. And I'm like, blah, 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 it's just a car that goes fast. Because that's how it is classified in my brain, because I don't care about all the nuance of those things. I just want to drop it down. I want to reduce it down to a simple concept. And it's just like, it's a red car that goes fast. There, I gave you 2 adjectives. And there's like, how dare you? It's like, no, there's so much more to this. Yeah, because you care about it and I don't. Okay, why am I talking about this? Because I'm talking about that is a clear indicator. It's like a clear example of how the human mind wants to reduce things down to simple concepts and kind of ignore all the nuance or complexity of it. And this becomes a real problem because we're interacting with another human being that is nuanced and complex. They're vastly more complex than your stupid sports car or your sci-fi movie or whatever. But what do? We reduce all of this down to a simple statement or adjective. You're just being moody. Stop being crazy. You're just not listening to me. Right? Instead of looking into the totality of their existence, the reality of who this person is and why they make the choices they make, and how all of that wove together into this particular moment where we're having conflict. We don't want to do that because that takes too much effort. That takes too much work. And I don't want to spend the time to put in that much effort. I've got other things I want to do with my life. I got other things I want to do with my day. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for you. So what am I getting at here? What I'm getting at here is that when we do this reductionist view and we take a complex reality that is a human being and we reduce them down to a simple label, it allows a different portion of our brain to kind of take dominance. It's like, I don't want to deal with the complexity of you. I don't want to take into account, the reasons why or your past traumas or how kind of wounds you have and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to do that. I just want to I want this to be easy. I don't care about you enough to dive in under the surface. And so I want to stay at this real shallow surface level and know, are you good or bad? Are you someone that's on my team? Or are you someone that I can demonize? Are you something that's helpful and will bring pleasure, complacency, comfort? Are you going to do that to my life? Or are you going to be something that I disagree with? And if I disagree with it, then I'm going to have stress and fear and anger and these other things. And I don't want those things. And so really, I just want to forget this whole conversation. I don't need your life story, blah, blah, blah. Let's just reduce this down so I can be like, oh yeah, you're a friend or you're an enemy. This makes sense if you consider the totality of human history on this planet. And that's the way we operate, because if we're walking on the plains of the Serengeti a million years ago, then we sit here and be like, are you something that's going to kill me or are you something that's going to help me? So this makes sense from a psychological point of view why we behave like this. But there's a reason I'm saying this is something that is super toxic to human interaction if you want to actually have a healthy relationship. If you want to have a relationship that's based entirely upon survival, trauma responses, social status, ego, like how cool am I that I'm standing next to someone hot? Yeah, if you want to have that kind of typical relationship, which in some circles seems to be the norm, then get on with your bad self. Keep doing it. You're only hurting yourself. If there's a child involved, now we're going to have words. And maybe I'll save those words for a different time. But if you're in that dynamic and you have a child involved, we're going to say there's a 100% chance you're going to create attachment wounds in that child. There's no way you can't. So let's look at this. Let's look at how do we solve this problem? How do we get past this fundamental psychological hack to simplify the world so I can have less uncertainty and more certainty. I can have more predictability. I can consume less calories in my brain trying to figure out where the hell I am, what's going on, and what I need to do next. See, it's a psychological hack for all that. So how can we get past the psychological hack? With work, with focus, with intention. Say, here's another human being that is a fully complex, complete, autonomous entity that walks their own walk and faces their own problems and will climb their own mountains, is completely disrespectful and toxic as F. to try to reduce that person down to a symbol, phrase, or word. It makes them feel unseen, unheard, uncared about, dismissed, unless they want that little badge of honor, unless they want that adjective you're throwing at them. But for most of us, we have attachment wounds, and a core piece of that attachment wound is I don't feel seen, heard, valued, cared for, prioritized. And each time I reduce them into a simple label, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm reinforcing that message. I don't care about you. I'm not prioritizing you. You are less than. So that's why we need to stop. If I really want to have healthy relationships in my life, I really want to build trust and intimacy and this like deep connection of someone who knows the totality of who I am and accepts it unconditionally, which is kind of what we all need, then I need to do the same. I need to get past the labels. I need to go deeper. I need to take all those labels that float up into my brain and to say, right, that's my brain doing its stupid brain thing. It's a way of survival on the plains of the Serengeti a million years ago. But I want more from my life. I want higher performance. I want deeper connection. I want better relationships. I want relationships that have longevity and strength and purpose and groundedness. And I want to raise healthy children. And when I have those motives, I need to take those labels and say, let them go. And start from the assumption, I don't know who you are, but I'm here to find out. I don't know if you're just a vegan. I would like to know more. How did you come to that place? Why do you make these decisions? How do you choose this lifestyle? What are your values? What are your dreams? What are the things that terrify you? And what are the things that fill you with so much joy and excited energy that you just want to shoot for the moon? Share this with me because I'm legitimately curious. This is a skill. This is a skill that is not taught by most of Western culture. In fact, they teach us the opposite. Don't waste your time in that BS. Just jump to the conclusion, have your fierce opinion, walk around all proud of yourself that you've judged someone and you know better than them. You're just a bloody narcissist. Oh, you're just crazy. You're just bipolar. You're just a troublesome child. He's just loud. Blah, 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 blah. This is a skill that you need to establish, build, practice. Let the labels go. Let the oversimplifications go and say, I don't know what this is. I need to discover it. I need to be curious. I need to ask questions. I need to find points of connection. And this skill pays dividends like maybe no other. Because once we build that skill with this person sitting across the table from me, turns out I get to use that same skill on myself. Instead of starting to the point where you say, I'm antisocial, I've got ADHD, I've got this label, I've got that label, oh, I'm just a this way, I'm just an introvert, I'm just an anxious preoccupied, I'm just a blah, right? Drop the damn labels and start from the assumption, I don't know who I am, and start looking. Do the work. Set time out of your day. Make sacrifices. Make sacrifices for this relationship. Because if you do, the person on the other, start again. Because if you do, the person on the other end feels it. They say, wow, here's this person. They're making sacrifices to get to know me. They're dropping all these labels that I've even had internalized my entire life. And they're not sitting there saying, oh, you're just an avoidant. You're just a this, you're just a that. They're saying, maybe, maybe not. But I'm curious to know more. I'm curious to understand who you truly are. You end up feeling prioritized. You feel wanted. You feel chosen. And these are the three aspects of that are underneath all attachment wounds. So I can take this skill that I'm practicing with my partner, boss, friend, whatever, and I can use that same skill on myself. Who are you? What do I care about? I know we've got this idea that we're this introverted mess. What if we just drop that label and say, what's really going on? What are you afraid of? What are your hopes and dreams? What are the things that give you so much excitement that you aim for the moon? This creates a deep sense of internal connection to self, which is, in the parlance, self-love. You can call it whatever you want. Does it pay dividends? Yes, 100%. That exercise with self will benefit many, many domains of life. But now there's even a bigger kicker. And that is, this is exactly 1000% the skill you need to raise a child. Because you don't know who that child is. You don't know what their wants and dreams and hopes and aspirations and fears and everything else are. You think you do, but you don't. If you're attaching labels, oh, this child's just difficult. Oh, he's just introverted. Oh, he's just scared. Oh, blah, blah, blah. As soon as you drop a label, as soon as you take a big, complicated system and you reduce it down to a single line, you have lost. You have created an environment that is literally hostile to their authenticity. It is hostile to their true expression. It is hostile to communication. That child will feel unseen, unheard, diminished, less than. This, my friends, is the future that I'm trying to avoid. This is the future I'm trying to prevent. This is the future I'm trying to educate as many people as possible on understanding this dynamic so that they can create an environment and a situation and a skill set that will maximize the possibility that these children get to escape that 2-year window with no attachment wounds. And if we can do that, we change the world. There's no question. We will literally change every aspect of the world. We change politics. We change consumer habits. We change education. We change financial policy expenditure, blah, blah, blah. We change governments. We change the whole political scene. We change neighborhoods. We change families. And we change the next generation of children. This is where it all starts, is to make sure that child exits the attachment window, which is 24 to 36 months, with no attachment trauma. It's doable, and this is how we do it. So, yeah. So if you want to start having healthier relationships in your life, if you want to start building a rich and delicious tapestry of human connection, vulnerability, and just beautiful acceptance, start here. Drop the labels. Stop being reductionist. Start intentionally stepping into this place that simply says, I don't know. I don't know who you are. I don't know what the situation is. I don't know the nature of this relationship. I don't know your hopes and dreams. Start with, I don't know, but I'm here to find out. And I will put in the effort and sacrifice in order to find out. Your life will change. Guaranteed. And it's scary. If this is frightening, or, okay, if you have resistance, anger, frustration, fear, or just a kind of a hazy resistance to this idea, that's because of your traumas. Unresolved and well hidden. Talk to me more about that. Like, it's just, I'm sorry if that's a strong statement, but it's like, I've just seen this happen too many times to believe that there's anything else going on. You have a fear of this strong uncertainty and being in a place where I don't get to know. I don't get to be in the place where I know better. and that fear can be resolved. And I really, really hope you have the courage to do it. I believe in you. This is an amazing process. Watching people go through this and helping them hold their hand, guide them, whatever we want to call this. This is a phenomenally rewarding experience, and I'm honored that I get to help people with it. Because watching people transition through to this place where they say, I can be in a place of unknowing and uncertainty, and I can still be happy and grounded and positive in my life. It doesn't have to be dominated by fear. Watching people go through that transition is, it's beautiful. And I'm here for it. And I would like to know more about you. If you have any questions about this, want any help, or you'd like to hear more, send me a DM. I would love to help you. Peace.